We wanted very much a family because we lost everything. So we wanted to build a nest to be together and to build a new generation.
Bergen-Belsen is not only a story of destruction and death, it's also a story about the rebirth. What happened in the 5 years in Bergen-Belsen in the DP camp, where close to 2,000 children were born there.
And it wasn't only a rebirth of Jewish culture, it was a rebirth of Jews. The birth rate in the DP camps after the war was astonishing. We were miracle children. We had no right to be. They had no expectation that we would ever be.
Trying to make meaning of what's going on in our world today by looking at the past.
Sometimes I'm asking myself, tell me, it's true? You were there, you saw everything, and you're still here.
Do you know the German army, the soldiers, the Wehrmacht, their belts, you know what was written by any chance on their belts? God with uns. God with us. He was not with the Jews.
The faith in the eternity of the Jewish people and everything comes from God, and that's what faith is ultimately all about.
Because the Holocaust hasn't taught humanity the lesson that it should have learned.
The DP camp really was like their own little town. They had the kindergartens, the schools, workshops, they had their own police force.
Imagine weddings in the DP camps. Imagine, theater happening in those DP camps where thousands of these Jews and people had no homes.
If we don't remember the past, there is no future for mankind.
The question in my mind is, how do you keep people conscious of the details of the Holocaust?
I don't think it's going to get easier to understand this history. So we're going to have to find other ways to transmit it, not really so much through cognitive, intellectual processes, but also perhaps through affect and emotion.
Well, if it's going to be diluted into a joke on Seinfeld, well, who's going to take it actually seriously?
Maybe after this generation of survivors is gone, we don't have to keep doing this work. Maybe it's not important at all.
I think one of the important things in order to keep our generation engaged in Holocaust remembrance and education is to basically universalize it and take those lessons and apply them to other human rights issues.
We're very careful about not comparing the Holocaust to other trauma in the past.
There is a specific importance about anti-Semitism, I think, that we should not forget because it was the Jews that were supposed to be murdered and the rest to be oppressed.
As the written word gradually disappears, as the world becomes ever more spontaneous, the past is absolutely in danger of disappearing.
Memory is a recreation. There is nothing that changes more than the past. And this is one of the very difficult things in explaining the Holocaust.
Many dying along the way, falling to the ground from exhaustion or starvation or a beating or a German bullet. We finally arrived at another concentration camp and stepped through a metal gate under the sign, Bergen-Belsen.
If you want to understand the nature of the world we've been living in for the last 100 years, you cannot ignore the Holocaust.